Evening, folks. I'm going to show you exactly what it takes to activate your Spypoint game camera. As y'all know, I use them for security cameras. I've got another one here I'm just fixing to pull out of the box. I've already tore the box open because that's a chore. Getting the box open is more of a chore than activating the thing at this point. This is one that they just replaced for me. I did have one quit, and I got on the chat session deal with Spypoint and went through that with them for a few minutes, and they said, we're going to send you a new camera. So this is it. This is a new one they sent me. You know what? This one is slightly packaged better than the last one that I received for some reason. You want to be sure that you don't lose this little rubber grommet right here. It's easy to lose right there. Covers your antenna port. It'll fall off there if you're not careful. First thing I do when I get one out of the box is just go ahead and put the antenna on it. Okay? Alrighty. And the next thing I do is I go ahead and put an SD card in it. Now I recommend you get the SD cards from Spypoint because they're cheaper. I've been getting these for $7.99. They were out of 16s, and I just recently put in another order, and I got some 32s, 32 gigabytes for $7.99. And they're real good cards. I've already got one right here that I have previously used. I'm going to go ahead and you put it in the card. You put the card in the camera upside down. Put it in there with a copper facing up. That's how they go in the Flex Cam. And from now on, as far as I know in the future, you'll see me using I'll be using some version of the Flex Cam. I don't use the old cameras anymore. Now, you're not going to see me putting batteries in it. Hey, that battery tray. Oh, looky there. They updated the battery tray. It's got symbols in there shows you what direction the battery goes. Instead of just having a plus and a minus, they've actually got the outline of the batteries. That's a good little upgrade. I like that. Okay, Spypoint, you did good right there updating that. That's great. I've got a camera here with some batteries already loaded up. So I'm just going to put them in here. Now most of these, I run them off 12 volt. I just take a 12 volt power supply like for charging a lantern battery or something, and I buy these ends off of Amazon and eBay, and that's not the right end. Those are actually the female ends. There's the male end right there. I've got both, see. Anyway, I buy these ends, like a dozen of them at a time. You just poke the wires in there and tighten them down, and I go ahead and plug them in, take my test meter, and make sure that my positive is in the center. But that's how I power my cameras when they're close to a power source. Or I hook a 12 volt battery to them, and I still use that. But anyway, I put batteries in them when I first activate them. First thing you want to do after you get your card in, get your batteries in, you go to your Spypoint app, and you go to cameras, and you go to plus, right there, go to add. And you got to select the model. I'm going to hit flex. I just got the regular flex, and then I hit next. I'm fixing to hit scan, but not yet. I'm going to show you. You scan this little QR code right here. I'm fixing to scan this one. It's just this quick. Come on, focus. Alright, we got it. You don't have to type anything in here about if you've been referred or have a promo code. You just hit activate my device. says, congratulations, your device can now be turned on. We'll turn it on. And then what you want to do is just lay it down and leave it there for about an hour. I mean, sometimes it'll communicate sooner than that, but you go to see your devices. It says, this camera has not reported yet. It may take a while. Pull to refresh or come back later. They mean pull it down to refresh. See, it still hadn't communicated yet, but it's only been a few seconds. It will communicate shortly. Once you have got your camera activated, you can go in and you can name it. You can go into settings and you can go to manage device, and then you can change the name of your camera. Now, I'm not going to do that because I've already got that one named the way I like it. But well, there it is. It's already communicated. I'll go ahead and show you this right here. I'm going to go to settings, manage device, and I'm just going to delete their description there. And I'm going to type in spare. Spelled it wrong because I'm trying to hold my phone this way. Spare secure the number 2. That's my spare security number 2. I've got some I put on magnets that I move around. Actually, I've got a bunch, but instead of naming them for where they go, I'm naming a few of them as spare because I'm acquiring a lot more of these cameras. Anyway, you see I've got spare security number 2. I'm going to hit save. Okay. And then you can go into my description here and you come down, there's spare security number 1 and spare security number 2. Now, chances are that thing did not take a picture. We'll hit photos. It didn't. I want to take a test photo. Be sure the battery doesn't slide out. I'm going to hold that up and I'm just going to point it at something and I'm going to hit test. And it didn't test. I've used that card before. I probably need to format it. Okay. I think what's going on here is this camera is in the process of communicating and it's not going to let me take a test photo just yet. And it's probably not going to let me format that card just yet. I'll come back in a little bit and I'll format that card because, like I said, I've used it before in another camera. And then I'll take a test photo. Right now, I think I just want to leave it alone and let it do its thing and let it communicate and get used to being in the system for a little while. But it's just that quick. It doesn't take long at all. And you know, it takes 8 AA batteries. And a lot of people don't recommend using rechargeables. But I have had good luck with Tenergy brand rechargeable batteries. I'll make a video in the future showing you the exact ones I use. But I've had some Tenergy rechargeables in a the ones I use are they're the low self discharge. I forget the exact name of them, but they're a Tenergy low self discharge. I think 24 of them on eBay is like $32, $35 with tax. Anyway, I've had 8 of them and a camera up here on the hill for going on 2 months, and they're still at. Well, I can show you what they're at. I can go in here. That's a water tank road, and I can go to status. They've been in there a couple of months, and they're at 35%. So for a couple of months, that's not too bad. Now that camera doesn't see a lot of action, but lately I have some people coming and going to a cell tower, and it has taken quite a lot of photos lately. I've deleted some of them, but I've probably got some examples here from previous months. They've been redoing the equipment on the cell towers for many months here. A lot of these animals set it off. But, you know, the animals is not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in vehicles coming and going. And see, I can zoom right in and I can read the license plate number on vehicles. So that's pretty good. That's actually my truck right there. So, got my good enough on the tailgate. Got my YouTube advertisement on there. I mean, they take great photos. There's a technician coming in to work on the cell tower. I didn't mean to get into such a long, drawn-out video. I intended on this to be short. I just intended on showing y'all how easy and how quick it is to set up one of these new Spypoint Flex cams. It's really quick, and it's really not a hassle at all. And again, I recommend just buying the SD cards straight from Spypoint. That's the best way. $7.99, you're not going to get a quality SD card anywhere else, really. I mean, SanDisk, yeah, they're pretty good if you don't get fakes. SanDisk is one that they like to make copies of, and fakes, unfortunately. If you buy them at Walmart, you're probably not going to get a fake. You buy them online, you're very likely to get a fake. Just buy them from Spypoint if you can, if you don't mind waiting on them. If you're in a hurry, go to Walmart and buy them. But that's it. If y'all need security, or if you just want a trail camera to, you know, view the creatures out there in the wild, the Spypoint Flex Cam is a way to go. There is a new one out. I believe it's called a Flex G36. And they do have a Spypoint one out now, a Spypoint Flex S with a solar panel on it. I might acquire one or two of those in the future. I don't know. They're a couple $100. I'm really not interested in those. I've got plenty of alternate ways to power these cameras that are cheaper than that. Now the G36, it's a Flex G36. I understand that they use less battery and they're a lot better about managing battery life. These are 33 megapixels and that one's 36 megapixels. I can't see 3 megapixels being worth it to me. Just a upgrade. But those cameras are only like $124, where right now you can get these for $94, $94.99. I was paying $99.99 for them, which they're worth every bit of that. I very rarely use the straps, because if you use a strap, you have to wedge something behind the camera to tilt it on the tree or whatever you got it strapped to, where it'll point where you want it to. This camera is taking photos right now, so I don't have to do a test. I can probably go in here and it's probably already sent some photos. There's photos. No photos were found matching. So it's got to go through their home office, which I think is in Canada, and then it's got to come back to us. So it's probably going to be a little while before that reaches me, especially with the first pictures. I'm going to go ahead and see if it'll let me format that card. And it's not wanting to. I've got a blue status light. It's transmitting a photo, so it's not going to let me do anything. Blue is transmitting. Well, that's okay. I don't want to turn it off because it's in the process of doing its business there, transmitting. But I've been using Spypoint cameras for a little over a year, and I've been using the Flex Cam for about 8 months. And I tell you what, I love them. They're great. I actually joined their membership, which is like $99 a year. And once you pay to join that, you get 250 pictures a month free to each camera. And it don't matter how many cameras you have. If you use up all those pictures in a month, when it resets and it rolls around the next 30 days, you got another 250 pictures. It just resets itself. It's not really a big deal. I do have one camera that I have on unlimited, and it's actually one of the older cameras, and I can't even think the model of that camera. I don't like them anymore because I went to these. I'm gonna move that subscription to another camera. I've got to look into how to do that. But I am going to move it, definitely transfer that unlimited photos to another camera, to one of these, to a Flex Cam. I just call them Flex Cams. They don't call them a Flex Cam, they call them a Spypoint Flex. But anyway, you need security, and you need something that's hassle-free and easy to set up, and it's taking another photo. You've seen it light up there. If you need something like that, that is the way to do it. I believe I have photos already have came in from that because I heard this thing make a noise. I'm going to exit out and exit out of everything here and open the out back up and see if I've got some photos there. Let's see. Right there. Nope, they hadn't made it here yet. You see I've got one there that's in red. Well, I don't have a battery in that camera at the moment. Yeah, I've got that labeled home driveway. For some reason, I'm not talking real plain today. Could have something to do with, I took a muscle relaxer earlier because my back's been bothering me. I think it's affected my speech. But anyway, I'm going to turn this camera off while it's not communicating. And I'm going to go and put these two cameras in their new home. And thank you all for watching. If you got any questions that I might could answer, don't hesitate to send them to me.